Hey you! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Basically, I got on my Instagram and I asked you guys to send me any questions or assumptions that you had about me. Thought it would be really fun. A little get to know me video. Let's do it. Super grateful for everyone that responded. There are so many assumptions and questions on here about getting married young. That's going to be a hot topic for today's video. I think I want to start with the assumptions. You and Jamin laugh really hard together. This is true. We do laugh super hard together. My husband is my best friend. We're super silly and goofy. He's not behind the camera super often. And when I do try and film him when he's being funny, it's hard for me to get it on camera basically. So when he laughs really hard, he like almost can't breathe kind of thing. We're both complete goon heads and it's a great time. You enjoy intimate gatherings over social events. I'd have to say that this is true, but that it used to be different. I'd say I've become like way more of a homebody over the last couple years, especially since getting married. Before I was married and I was single and living with roommates and in high school and stuff, I did really like going to bigger social events. I think overall throughout my life, I've liked more intimate gatherings for sure. It's just more comfortable, less intimidating. I feel like lots of people can relate to that. So yeah, but big stuff's really fun too sometimes. I am not opposed. You want a baby soon. This is false. I'm 23. Well, I'll be 23 next week on Monday. Honestly, like I don't really get baby hungry, like ever. There's been like a few tiny little moments in the last almost 3 years that I've been married that I've felt that a tiny bit. But honestly, like I really am just so enjoying my time, just the two of us. And you know, obviously I want to finish school first, kind of have more of finances and like all that stuff figured out before we have a kid. Obviously I could see me having my first kid at like 25 maybe. I don't know, I just feel like a baby myself, and so I feel like I'm like so not ready for kids. I actually do have quite a few friends with kids. I don't want a baby soon, but possibly in the next like 2 to 5 years, I would say, is when I'll probably start wanting to have a baby. My mother-in-law said, seriously Aubrey, are you really practically perfect in every way? That would be false. If you had to explain yourself in bio form, what would you say? Like you only have 180 characters to explain yourself. Whoa. I have no idea. I feel like I'd have to like type something up and make sure it was under 180 characters. Let's just come up with something short, I guess. I would say that I am fun, and outgoing, and quirky, and a little bit weird, while also being a little shy, homebody, sensitive, cries a lot, and likes to party. I don't know. Passionate. You always knew you would get married young. This is true. I feel like there's so many factors to this. In my culture of being a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it's in our culture to get married young and have kids young and have lots of kids. Like my mom got married when she was 18, my sister got married when she was 19, and I got married when I was 20. So I was older than them. I'm always thinking about that. I'm like, at least I wasn't 18. At least I wasn't 19. I definitely got married at the time I was supposed to my person, you know, like I was so supposed to marry Jamin when I did. I feel like growing up in the culture that I did, I always kind of assumed I'd get married fairly young. It also kind of made me not want to get married young because like everybody else did that kind of thing. And I wanted to try and like wait a little bit longer. No, I felt like in my culture, like when you went off to college, like that's what you did, was you went out to college and you dated lots of people and you found your person, you know, and that's totally what I did. I think I was in college for just over a year when I met Jamin. I met Jamin when I was 19, got married when I was 20. Now I'm gonna be 23 on Monday. Definitely say that I knew I would get married young. but that I didn't want to get married when I was 18 or 19 because I just felt like I was not ready for that. I wanted to date lots of people, have fun, not take things too seriously. And I know 20 is very young to get married, like I get that. I made the choice at a young age to save myself for marriage also. And obviously, you know, when you love somebody that, you know, you want to do those things with them, and that's a part of relationships, and it's an important part of them and all that. So like that's a big factor in why I feel like people in my culture get married young. Like not just for that, obviously I was very in love with my husband and that's not why we got married. But it is harder to like wait longer. When you're not saving yourself for marriage, it's like you do that with your partner anyways. So I feel like a lot of people don't feel the need to get married because they move in together and they yada yada, but like I saved myself for marriage and wasn't going to live with someone of the opposite sex like until I was married. And that's just a personal choice for me. I feel like that's a huge factor into why I got married young. Like I just happened to meet the person I was gonna marry and I knew when I knew. I just happened to be 20 and why wait, you know? Like if you're in love and you know you're supposed to be with this person and you've been dating them for like a pretty good amount of time and you wanna like progress in your relationship and I don't know, move forward, then you know, marriage was just that next step for us. There's lots of people who meet their person like pretty young, but then they don't end up getting married for like 10 years and they date for like 10 years. So, but they also live together and, you know, are intimate. And so we're pretty much doing the same things except for you're married or you're not kind of thing. Does that make sense? Someone asked, how do you pronounce your husband's name? I've said it on here a lot, so everyone who watches my videos, you probably already know how to pronounce it. But like on Instagram, when people only see my husband's name written, Jamin, people think it's Jamin. My husband's name is Jamin. Jamin. What made you realize teaching may not be your thing? You saw my last video, I opened up about a struggle that I've been having for like the past year, that I don't really know if I want to be a teacher anymore. And that's what I'm going to school for. And I think the biggest factor into what made me like reconsider my career choice is honestly just like intuition and a gut feeling. Like even just starting college, like I knew I loved kids, I knew I was good with kids. I loved my job at a daycare that I used to have in high school, nannied a lot growing up and in between semesters at college, and so it just like made sense for me to go into elementary education. Honestly, I am really good at teaching. The most rewarding part of it is the kids themselves. Like I can't tell you how many times I've cried after leaving a practicum, which is similar to student teaching. Each time that I've gone into a teaching opportunity and I've come out of it, I've always felt a little bit heavy about it. Like, okay, I really like this. The kids are so cute. It's so rewarding to see that things are clicking for them and I'm really good at it. I'm good with them. It just seems like it would be a perfect fit for me. But there's honestly always been this lingering feeling of like the fact that I don't know if I want to do this for my whole life, if that makes sense. And not that you have to do something for your entire life, but, and I'm not even saying that I won't teach at all, but I have obviously, like I said in my last video, thought about not doing it. I am just so close. I literally have 4 classes left until I graduate, and then I do my student teaching internship. I've just kind of like kept tugging along because I don't really know what else to do with my life, honestly, the past couple years other than go to school. Another thing is that when I first got married is when I started my YouTube channel and doing more kind of on social media. I just got super interested in it over the last like 2.5 years that I've had my channel almost. I felt this way is that like, I don't know if it's because school is just really hard and I've been doing homework since I was in kindergarten and it's just like getting old or what. I always look forward to creating content and making YouTube videos and I love it so much. And I love being a homemaker and I'm super into like interior design and makeup and hair and fashion and just all things girly. And I've always loved that stuff like my whole life. When I started like kind of exploring that more, I really started to like feel it even more that, hey, teaching might not be it and this might be it, because like I was just feeling so much joy and excitement and passion in what I was creating videos for and having fun with in comparison to everything that I was learning about becoming a teacher. Not to discount everything I've been learning to become a teacher. Seriously, I have learned so much about children, so much about parenting even. Even if I walk away from my college degree learning how to be a better mom, like I'm totally okay with that, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I know that it is popular or stereotypical. Lots of women like graduate and don't use their degree and they just become a mom, but I really don't see anything wrong with that. And if that's your choice, then that's amazing for you, because that's what you want. Yeah, I really would like to make a career out of social media, and I do want to put my teaching degree to good use, whether that be teaching for a couple of years, getting a job that has to do with children that I'm qualified for through my degree that's not necessarily teaching, or even if it's just so that I can be a better mom. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, there's so many possibilities for me with this degree, and so that is why I'm going to finish. I honestly considered dropping out of college, but I really felt that that wasn't right. I'm so far and I'm so close to finishing that I really feel like, you know, having this degree could benefit my life. That was a long one. If you can live anywhere, where would you live? I currently live in Idaho. It's an iceberg here, and I'm from Northern California. Honestly, I don't have like a specific place, a specific state or country or anything like that in mind. All I want is to live by family so that I can experience life with them. That's also a touchy subject, because when you get married to someone who's from a different state than your family is, you kind of have to figure something out, you know? So my husband's family is from Idaho, and his family lives literally like less than 10 minutes away from us, which has been so fun. And seriously, I am so close to them. I love them so much. I just can't believe what an amazing family I married into, and I'm so grateful, and I love being here. And I truly love Idaho. It has grown on me so much, but the winters are so bad. They are so brutal, so cold here, and that's the part that kind of differs me from wanting to live here, really, is the weather, which is kind of crazy. Also the fact that my family doesn't live here. I've had lots of conversations trying to convince some of my family to live here, but I don't think they'll ever leave where they live. The main difference is that all of my husband's family lives in one place pretty much, like a majority, like aunts, uncles, cousins, like everybody lives here. And then on my family, it's just my parents and my brothers in Northern California, my sister in Southern California, my aunts and uncles in Utah, and then some in some other states. So we're just kind of scattered in my family. I think the sad truth that I had to accept was that I'm never going to be able to live by all of my family in one place, if that makes sense. Honestly, it does make sense for us to live in Idaho, because, you know, if you can't have one but you can have the other kind of thing. And that's sad sometimes for me, but then at the same time, like, I'm a person who, not that I don't love my family and love being close to them, but like needs my distance, I guess. I do wish I lived a little closer to them. I wish they were, you know, a couple hours away, or even like an hour or 30 minutes away. That would be amazing. A perfect situation in my mind. But so to answer your question, I think I would live wherever we can live that we can be by both families, if that's possible. And it's hard because somewhere in the middle is hard, because then you don't see either of them as often. Ugh, it's just a mess. People ask us this all the time, like, what are you gonna do after you graduate? Where are you gonna live? What are you gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have it figured out. We're kind of just going with the flow, seeing what happens, and I think it's important for us to take opportunities so that we can experience living in other places, yada yada. Next question. How did you and Jamin meet? What's your guys' story? In 2016, I graduated high school, and I moved to Idaho to go to Brigham Young University. My husband is actually from the same town that BYU is in. Well, it was my third semester of college. I was moving into my new apartment with my new roommates in 2017. I think it was September of 2017, fall semester. It was the Saturday before school started. So school started on Monday and it was Saturday. At BYU, you go to church with your roommates, and like everyone on your floor of apartments that you live on is in the same, they go to church at the same time, and we're called a ward family basically. A ward is just a group of people in a certain area of boundaries where you live, and you all go to church at the same time together kind of thing. That's how they split it up. Jamin was a secretary for the bishop of my ward, and the bishop is the leader of the ward. He was the executive secretary for the bishop, and so he helped the bishop schedule meetings and basically was like his assistant. I'm in my new apartment. I'm like unpacking my stuff on this Saturday, and Jamin and the bishop and the other members of the bishopric were going around to all of the apartment complexes in our ward to introduce themselves and to like tell us what time we're at church on Sunday and just give us information about church. The bishop knocked on my apartment's door, and I was like sitting on a bar stool at the little island in our kitchen. They all came in and all my roommates came out, and we all shook hands with the bishop and the bishopric and Jamin. The bishop just introduced Jamin to all of us, and so it wasn't like we ran into each other or like talked to each other really, but he was just like in my apartment with these old dudes, and me and my roommates basically just like kind of stood there while the bishop was explaining things. He seemed like really shy at first. I saw him, I like was super attracted and was like, whoa, he's super cute. I honestly got like a weird feeling. I was like, whoa, like why do I feel so weird after, you know, seeing this boy? And now I know, because I was supposed to marry him. I think the only words I heard come out of his mouth when I first met him was like hello and then goodbye. I guess long story short, for like the rest of our story, a couple weeks went by and we'd see each other at church every Sunday. And it's funny because I actually got called to be the Relief Society president for our ward. And the Relief Society president is like the leader of the women's meetings that we have on Sundays. It was a big responsibility. And so I think we had 9 a.m. church, which meant that I had meetings to go to before church at 8 a.m. like every Sunday. It was brutal. Jamin would be at all of these meetings. We would see a lot of each other in meetings at church. Ultimately, like 2 or 3 weeks in, I think, to the semester, he like set my roommate Holly, who's actually like one of my best friends now, up on a date with his best friend. And I remember being like, that's kind of weird. I remember like him texting Holly, and I was like, Jamie texted you? What? And he was like, hey, do you want to go on a double with me and my friend tonight? And so I was like, I got this feeling that he was gonna ask me. Like I just knew it. I swear, like 15 minutes after Holly got a text message from him, he like called me and asked if I would be his date for that night or whatever. And yeah, so we went on our first date. It was a double date. My friends and my roommates always say like they've never seen two people more infatuated with each other. I knew I loved him, like from the start. I was trying to tell myself that I didn't, like, oh, that's too fast, but like I knew I loved him. Like I just knew. When you know, you know. And I'm not saying like the first time I met him or the first date I was like, I'm gonna marry this boy, but I did. Like I was like a little freaked out. I was like, whoa, why do I feel strongly so fast? Like this is crazy. And I'd like call my mom and I'm like, I really like him. Like, I don't know, mom, like he could be the one. Like I feel like this is it. I think we went on a date, and then a week later we went on our second date. And then I remember all this stuff because I wrote in my journal like every single day about our relationship. I kid you not, from our second date we saw each other every single day for the next like 120 days. We never didn't see each other until I went home to like visit family. It was crazy. We dated from September of 2017 to May of 2018, and we got engaged in May, and then we got married in September of 2018. So by the time we like started dating to the time we got married was an entire year. And that seems like a really short amount of time, but honestly, I swear I feel like I've been with him for like 15 years. This video is gonna be so long. I don't know how I'm going to break this up. Okay, what's your dream occupation? And we kind of already talked about this. That's a little complicated. Okay, hear me out. When I picture my future, I can see myself like maybe teaching for a couple of years, and then once I have a child, maybe stop teaching. Hopefully, you know, my YouTube and social media can blow up by then if I work really hard, and I'll be able to have an income from that and work from home. That sounds pretty good to me. Who knows? Do you wish you would have done more things before you got married? That's a hard question. I would say yes and no. I feel like I really did get to do everything that I wanted to do before I was married. I don't know, I know it's a short amount of time, but I came to college, I dated a couple of boys, like not very seriously, kissed a few people, like went to some parties, not those kind of parties, but some fun parties, and went to dance parties, and you know, I had the whole roommate experience like for 4 entire semesters living with 6 other girls, and seriously had the time of my life. There have been a few moments where I've missed like living with the girls and, you know, that single life, I guess, but not necessarily missed it like I want it back, but just missed it in the sense that, oh, those were good times, you know. But honestly, my life right now, being married to Jamin, being married to my best friend, like, is so much better. It's the best, you know, and obviously it's not easy. Like, obviously we have hard times and marriage isn't easy, but I'd much rather have Jamin as my roommate than 6 other crazy girls. So, you know what? No, I don't wish I did more. I feel like I did the perfect amount, honestly. For me, it was perfect for me. What have I not answered yet? What's the best thing about being married young? You know, even though people view that as kind of crazy to get married at like 20 years old, it's like if you found your person, you know that you're gonna spend the rest of your life together and that you're in love, like, why not just like get started? I think that's the best part about being married young, is that, like, first of all, like, I chose not to be intimate or live with someone before I was married. So living with my best friend, he's my roommate, being intimate with him, which is beautiful and fun and awesome. So yeah, like living with my best friend, doing all the lovey things. Not only is he my best friend that I have amazing amounts of fun with, but he's also like my lover and my husband. And so it's like the best of both worlds in a sense. Best part is just like doing life with him by my side. And not that I wouldn't be able to like do life if we weren't married, but it's just different. When we weren't married, we just weren't with each other 24/7. I lived with roommates, he lived at his mom's house. He had a different job, I had a different job, and I had classes at this time, he had classes at that time. There was just like so much difference in our schedules. But when we got married, basically you like conjoin your lives together and just make it work. And that part is amazing. Before we were married, it's like we always had to say goodbye all the time. He'd stay over till like midnight, 1 in the morning most times, or I'd be at his house hanging out, but then we'd have to go home and like sleep alone in my twin bed. Like, that's not fun. Sleeping next to him, waking up next to him, brushing my teeth next to him, taking showers with him, like doing everything with him. That's just the best part. What is your dream vacation? When I think of vacation, I think of like relaxing and being in the sun at the beach. Like, that's a vacation for sure. But a dream like destination to travel to, right now, like the first place I want to go is probably Europe. I want to travel all around Europe for like a month with Jamin. I think that would be amazing. That is all of the questions and all of the assumptions that you guys had about me. Hopefully you feel like you got to know me a little bit better. Please don't forget to leave a comment down below so we can talk a little bit more. Please don't forget to like this video if you did. Give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe because I do post videos every single Thursday. I have so many good videos planned. I have lots of vlogs coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.